Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. It's your boys from the Hooptalk podcast, man. If you don't remember us, it's your boy Hooptalk Nas. I got Hooptalk Pluto and Hooptalk Tyler in the building with me. Names should come up if the thing is still editing everything correctly. So everybody cross your fingers. Let's see what happens. But if not, I'm not gonna fix it. So oh well, figure it out. You don't know us, get to know us. All right. We got plenty on our plates, man. It's been a while. We took a break. But we're back and better than ever. We got a lot to review, kind of recap and kind of, what's the word, preview as well for what's to come for the rest of our season. Um, and we appreciate y'all. So hit that subscribe button, like, comment, all that good stuff, man. We need to get back busy again because we've been on a hiatus for too long and it's time to get to work. Um, but I believe we're starting with the Royals. We got some Royals action that we've been going to over the last 2 months. I haven't had an opportunity to talk about it on the podcast, so here we are. Where are we going to start? What's going on with the Royals that we wanted to tell the world about?
I mean, the Royals, for the most part, over the last 2, even 3 months, all the way back to October, they've been undefeated up until just recently at home. Um, Crazy home crowd. If you guys haven't had a chance to watch it, probably the livest home crowd I've seen of any game that we've been to ever.
Yeah, it was dope.
Uh, yeah, they partake a lot with any event. So like they have certain nights where they're pink for breast cancer awareness. Early on in the season, I think that we also wore pink for that jersey as well back in October, right?
Yeah, we did.
If I'm mis-
Yeah, I
That's been
saw it. I
great.
remember it.
But more recently, though, they did play a team that is also undefeated, but they're undefeated everywhere, at home and away. How did that end? Can someone tell me?
Didn't end too well. What wasn't it a close game though at the end?
Uh, I would say it was close until the fourth quarter. I would say it was no. I can't even say that. I don't think it was.
I don't
I think they
remember
were
the fun.
down
I don't
10 to
remember the final
15 most of
score.
the game. It was
Um,
123 to 106.
123 to 106. Oh, okay, that's not terrible. Um, yeah, it definitely was one hell of a showing. What was that player's name? I forget what.
Jarvis?
Jarvis, no,
Jarvis,
Jarvis Williams.
Jarvis
the
Williams. Yeah,
best.
Jarvis Williams was a one hell of a player. I reached the point in that day where I didn't know what to do with myself. I was like, I don't know, what more can you say? You know what I mean? It made me think to myself, I have a lot of respect for the people who called Kobe's game when he scored 81. Because it's like after a certain point, what more can you say? You know what I mean? After a certain point, when is glazing too much? It's like I wasn't
Whoa.
sure. I wasn't sure how to react. I wasn't sure what to do. I'm like, I'm watching this, and this is from beginning to end. There was never a point in that game.
Immediately.
Yeah, there was never. He scored 23, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, something close to that in that first half. And I'm thinking, okay,
Yeah.
well, maybe he had the majority of his output. Maybe he'll finish the game with like 35. I was wrong. He scored more in the second half, and then that was an adventure. Let me tell you, Jarvis Williams, y'all need to go watch that game. You know what I mean? I say that a lot. I say that about every game, and I would love it if you guys go back and watch every game. Don't get me wrong, but for today, fuck that. Just watch this one. If you guys watch this one, you are going to enjoy yourselves. That is a
Yeah,
guaranteed. Because
yeah,
Jarvis Williams, I
yeah.
think, I believe he's serving a life sentence in prison right now. I think I saw that in the
For
news.
murder.
And it's because he murdered a bunch of lions over there at Bartow.
Man,
And I haven't, and coincidentally, I haven't seen the Royals since. I'm just saying, I
yeah,
haven't,
yeah.
I haven't seen
It's
the Royals
crazy,
since. You know what I mean? They
crazy.
postponed the game. All right, a coincidence. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Listen,
Hurricane Jarvis came through and just killed everybody.
I called out before too after going through some traumatic experiences in my life, so I understand Royals. I understand.
Bro, it's crazy because the Royals didn't even play bad. Like I don't have their stats, but 106 is actually pretty high. That's about their average for what they scored. So offensively, they were doing their thing, but they couldn't keep up with him. And there was a point where like he hit some ridiculous high arcing like circus shot falling down that I didn't even think was gonna go in. And that was the story of the night. He had 52 points. He also had 8 assists.
Yeah,
And
I was about to
his
say he had some pretty good passes. Like I think there was just one where the big man wrapped around and cut, and it was a really nice bounce pass in between two
yeah.
people. He's had he had some really good passes. He just had really good shots too. Like it was insane with him, man. Like
He saw
I don't
celebrity.
think yeah, like and then like the ref dude, the ref, the guy from Instagram, uh, he comes up to him after the game. He goes, "Yeah, he's the one who taught me." And I was like, "Man, well, and I didn't get to watch the ref. We were just talking about this prior. I haven't watched ref till recently, and ref is really good, so I can see where the prodigy line comes from. Because man, that kid was. I don't. At one point, I was just like this.
For context purposes, for
Man,
context purposes, he's referring to ref buckets or lay.
yes.
As some of you might know, just to create some context there behind that.
Yeah. It was dope. It was
Shout out
dope.
to
It was
shout out
dope.
to Rep Buckets for making it to the All-Star game. That's kind of
Yeah.
crazy, actually.
Yeah.
He
Shout
made
out
it.
to him.
But
And he caught a body.
so Jarvis Williams wasn't the only one who went crazy either. Quintarius Porter, who was a name that people kind of told us to watch out for that team, also had 36 points and 8 rebounds. They were both
Great
stealing
for
the
sure.
ball. Between the both of them, they have 8 steals together.
Oh, you know what I
Yeah.
So they were
remember?
doing everything.
You
What?
know what I remember? I remember, and I'm gonna have to, play devil's advocate here because I was instructed not to release this information in the actual flyer. Because what I do is I make a flyer for the game of keys to the game, right? And the way it was worded to me in the text message, I was told to fix that up and make it look pretty. I was like, okay, sure, whatever. But what the actual scouting report says is, what was it? I think it was put a hand up or it was actually, you know what? I still have it in the notes. It was because it was the last game they played, right? I still have it in the notes. What did they? What was the scouting report? 3 keys to success. Damn it! No, I didn't update it. Damn it. What was it that they said? It was funny, but either way, the point is, it was true. It was those two players who they specifically said, don't leave them open, run them off the line. That's what it was. Run them
Yeah.
off the line. They specifically asked us to not release specifically what they were saying, but essentially, I believe they played this team before at their home, and they got cooked by these two players, and one of them was the guy you just said scored 30 something. And the scouting report said run them off the line. And what I can assure you did not happen in that game once is the
Was being people being ran off the
yeah,
line.
nobody got ran off the line. If anybody got ran off the line, it was the Royals players because them boys were skating left and right and that's just leaving people wide open. And it sucks. I will say it sucks, coming from the perspective of a team owner as well as somebody who's been, in a situation where I have to coach. It does suck to watch players beat you like that. And yeah, the guy scored 36. But like, it's just got overshadowed by the simple fact that that motherfucker Jarvis just, my God. And I don't
What?
know. I don't
Yeah.
know if there was a player on the team that didn't attempt to guard him. I don't think there was a
Yeah.
single player on
They
the
were, they
Royals
were they were
roster.
doubling him for a lot of the
Yeah.
second half. Like
And he
sometimes you play against people that are just really good at their craft. They just like
yeah.
good offense will always be good defense. Always.
I've been hearing Tim the Tap Man talk about something he refers to as flow state. Jarvis Williams was in his flow state. That was for
Bro,
sure.
this shit was
That was ultra
different. Yeah.
instinct
Yeah.
in basketball.
Yeah,
Did he hit
facts.
a hook shot? Did he hit he hit an and one hook shot from like the free throw line? That's when like Nas threw his hands in the air. He's
That
like,
was a
what the
shot that
fuck?
didn't count. That was a shot that didn't count. Yeah.
Oh, did it
Yeah,
count?
that
Yeah,
was
it
a
was
shot
like
that
a
didn't count.
hook shot.
Yeah, he threw it
He
up in
like
the air. Yeah.
probably yeah, he made
But
like
it
four
went in
shots
though.
prior to
It
that
did
in a
go in,
row.
yeah. It did go in, yeah. It did go in.
He made like four shots in a row prior though, and it was already we were already like, what the fuck? And then he got fouled. He threw it backwards, and all I see is Nas.
Hey,
Yeah, oh,
he was hooping in the
That shit was
shades.
funny.
He stole some of Shay's power for a little bit. That's what it was.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, you were saying that too. Tyler was saying that the whole time. He looked like Shea out there. Like it was like crazy because I feel like when you're really good ball handler, you learn how to keep people on your hip. And he was very like that was the number one thing he was doing to everybody. Everybody was on his hip, so it's either like if he shoots, you're gonna foul him, or he's gonna make the basket. You can't like really defend that, and that's like elite like basketball knowledge, like to always know like to have someone on your hip. And then he also knew where to throw it like cross court to the shooters, and that's why that dude had 36 points. Like he had wide open jumpers like the whole game. It was wide open. He wasn't really like creating. He was just wide open shooting the ball, and like
And I think they're
every
big.
time.
I think they're big. Caught about 57 rebounds, if I'm not mistaken. He
Oh
was
yeah, I forgot. Their
Minimum.
big man had like a
Minimum.
fucking Dennis Rodman game.
every
No,
single
they-
board that was available to be grabbed was grabbed by him.
And he
They had
wasn't the
17
biggest
and
guy on the court.
24.
He had
Yeah,
24
he-
17 and
rebounds.
24.
Yeah, he
It's
was
crazy.
going crazy.
That's some Alex Torrey shit.
What was his name?
Demario Darrell Taylor.
Yeah,
Say
shout
that
out
again?
to
We called him
Demar.
Darrell.
Darrell.
Demario Darrell Taylor.
Darrell Taylor.
But I think we called him Darrell Taylor whenever we were playing.
Oh yeah, I have it right here. Yeah, Darrell Taylor, number 24. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, didn't you
Yeah,
just say
he
he
was-
had 24 rebounds?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. That's crazy.
crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy,
That
bro.
man,
That's
that man matched his jersey number. That's crazy. Yeah.
You know what's crazy? So we talk about 52 points, 8 assists. We talk about 24 rebounds. Dart also had 8 steals.
that was
Oh,
the
really?
light skinned dude, right? The light skinned dude who was like kind of like shifty.
Yeah.
Dart is
He had the headband. Yeah, he was the other. He was the 2 guard. He was the combo guard. He could kind of shoot a little too. He was smooth. He had a
Yeah,
smooth
he
little
had-
game to him too.
He had a triple 8. He had 8 points, 8 rebounds, 8 steals.
Yeah, he was moving. He was fast as hell. He was moving too.
He almost had a 5x5. If he had one more assist, no, never mind. My math is off. Never mind. Never mind.
No, that team, that's crazy because they only had 5 players. So, like, they went out
That
there
too.
and they put on a show. You know, they played great basketball. And shout out to them, man. The coach, very, very energetic, very charismatic on the
He's dope.
sideline,
He's dope.
kept making those gorilla sounds. For those of you who are familiar, this team was called the Silverbacks, just in case we didn't mention that already. Yeah, they went into the game. They went into the game 9-0. They left 10-0. I don't know what their record is now.
12 and
12-0. All right, there you go. So they haven't lost yet. But yeah, they are a talented team, man. That even Cortez Wade, I remember. You know, obviously his teammates did a lot to overshadow, but even him, you know, I think all 5 players that showed up legitimately showed up. Like they came to play basketball.
Yeah.
You know, they did their part. And then was it Porter that shot all the threes that you were saying, right? The 36 points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like them a lot too. I like those type of shooters
Smooth
that know how
jumper.
to, you know, take the right shots, find the spots, never force anything. Overall, very well coached team. You know, they had their sets that they were yelling out there. You know, they had their, what's the word? Confidence in each other or trust in each other. So it was a very well coached team, very well put together team. I'd be scared to see what they're like, you know, with a full roster because they have about 12 names here. If I'm not doing the math wrong, but only 5 showed up, so I'd be scared to face an entire roster.
Yeah.
This is
I-
crazy. Really
Yeah.
quick, Quintarius and Jarvis are both averaging 33 points across the season
I believe it,
together.
100%.
Like 66 combined right there.
I believe it.
Already off the dribble, you know you're gonna have a 60 ball no matter what in this game.
Yeah.
That's
Listen,
crazy.
full glaze, bro. Full glaze. I don't care.
Yeah, that's a lot. But I believe that was the Royals. Was it the first home loss for this season? I don't think they've lost at home just yet. I did mention on the broadcast that they didn't lose at home last year, but that was actually wrong. So I'm gonna correct myself here for anybody who does pay attention. That was wrong. They did lose to the Lambs last year. I remember that. I was there. But they barely. I think that's the only game they lost at home last year. If I'm not mistaken, this is the only game they've lost so far at home. And there's potential that could stay that way. So, you know, overall, the Royals, they do a great job at home. They're a very tough team to beat. You know, usually that third quarter is the quarter where they really wake up. You know, I don't know if they get, you know, beat up in the locker room or what it is, but somebody wakes them up and they come ready to play in that third
Yeah, coach.
quarter every single time. But unfortunately, the Silverbacks were just a little bit more ready to play than the Royals could have been.
They were getting beaten up a little bit more.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I will say that though. Well, I want to say something that I kind of Nas pointed at. now that I think about it, out of all the ABA games I've been to so far, they're the only team that called a set every time on offense. Like every time they came up the court, there was this other than their transition play, which they're also really good at. Their sets, they're pretty legit sets. Like everybody knew where to go and what to do in their sets. So I do want to shout that out a little even more. Their coaching was actually very well. And this is no shade to any team in particular or anybody, but I didn't hear none of the players cuss the coach out the whole game, like him specifically. Like no one went at him, and I just want to shout that out because like that means he like demands a level of respect that they give him because everybody's a grown ass man there. No one's like a little kid being coached, but the fact that they didn't cuss him out or tell him he's doing something wrong or anything like that, they just kind of respected him. I kind of fucked with that a little bit.
I
Like
heard
I
the
thought that was pretty dope.
I heard the coach cussing some
Have you
people
heard
out
that?
though.
Yeah. That's how it's
Have you
supposed
heard
to
that
be
on
done.
other teams in the ABA?
No comment.
Wait, what?
Wait,
Nah, I'm
heard
just
what?
saying.
Heard which part?
Player coaching on a coach.
I've heard players cuss out coaches in the ABA. I don't know what teams have done it because I don't know. I don't remember. I can't recall. But I did see him not get cussed out, and I thought that was refreshing. I thought that was pretty nice. I just want to throw that out there.
Oh yeah, the Royals. Shit, the Royals got into it on the bench once. Shit, it happens.
Yeah,
More than once. Say that.
actually, yeah, multiple.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's kind of what it is, though. They're a high energy team, and like high
Yep.
energy sometimes will kind of get misconstrued, and people will kind of get upset. But like
Yeah.
I would rather people be high energy and
And no
misunderstand
energy.
and then come back and correct it than like everyone just playing like lackadaisical and like they don't really care about this. Like
Yeah.
I want my team to be a little mad. I want them
Yep.
I want them to cuss me out.
I mean,
I'm a
even
coach.
just yeah, I've watched the Royals play a lot. I mean, now that I think about it, the first I did the MC for Nas. One of my first things I ever did for him back in the day for the Spurs Serpents. The Royals they've always played like that. They've always played like super chippy. Like they're looking for a reason to be mad. They're looking for a reason to get engaged. So that's just their style though. Even their coaches like that. They're looking for a reason to be like, oh yeah, okay, watch this. And then that's just who they are though. I'll give you that. Yeah, that's 100% who they are.
Expected.
We won that
Yeah.
game for context purposes. Just putting that
They
out there.
did.
Just wanted to put that out there. First game in Daytona Beach, and we won. Appreciate y'all boys.
It was lit. That game was lit too.
Yeah, Kevin Beans torched them, but a good game to watch, by the way. I don't know where it is at that point in life. I don't know what I was doing in my life when it came to all
I know
this
where I was
stuff.
at.
But
I was yelling. I never yelled 4-3 so many times in my life before. Because his team, it wasn't just Beans. Everybody was hitting three. So all you hear for like in the recording, like 7 times in a row.
I don't know.
It was bad.
That's where I think the Royals struggle the most at is defending the three. Now that I think about it, I think we've seen so far perimeter
That's
shooting
good.
is perimeter defense is a weakness because
Yeah.
when it comes in the paint, you like between Alex Torre and then Jeremiah Zitz, like they are two great defenders, and the team collapses very well. But I think it's getting lost in picks, it's getting lost in recovering, it's getting lost in making
Yeah.
switches. I think that's their weak point.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
overplay.
even K will.
They overplay the perimeter. I think their guards like to get steals more than they should like to get steals.
Yeah.
And I think there's a reason why it was a part of the scouting report that we need to run people off the line because they may have a history of not doing that. And in these leagues, people love to shoot. To be honest, but that does remind me of a team who has a lot of players who love to shoot. The Lambs. Switching leagues a little bit here. We are crossing our fingers and hoping that this year we'll have the luxury of being able to cover some Lambs games. It's going to be a bit of a different partnership than what you guys have seen us do in the past, but we will wait to see how that turns out and how those talks conclude before we share too much information. But cross our fingers that we'll get the opportunity to work with the Lambs this year because they have one hell of a roster, and we wanted to kind of talk through that a little bit and just discuss some of the players that that we've been seeing that they have signed officially. Now they have plenty of players that have gone through their whole training camp and tryout process, but I believe they're just slowly announcing players one by one. And from my understanding, there's like certain things that they have to do as well to be able to be officially signed. The Lambs are an official organization, ladies and gentlemen. This is not your typical semi-professional team. Let me actually take that back because Edgar's going to hate that word. They are not a semi-professional team at all, and he's made that very clear to me to shut the hell up and stop saying that. They are a
They're a
professional team.
team.
They are paying players to play the game. They are paying players to practice. They are paying players to make basketball their job. And I believe, I've been too afraid to ask somebody because I don't like talking to people about their money. But I think they're at a point where it's more of a part-time position for them, obviously, because, I don't know. Listen, I don't know, but I don't know if the Lambs are out here giving out, $40,000 contracts. You know what I mean? To live off of. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's that case, but all I know is these players are actually getting rewarded for their efforts, and it shows in the talent that they have assembled thus far. They've announced 8 players, so let's actually go ahead and talk about them. I'll start with the player that I'm familiar with, so we can wrap that one off quickly. Jackson Trapp is one of the players. He looks to be the first player they officially announced on social media as being a part of their TBL roster. For those of you who are unfamiliar, the TBL is aka the basketball league. Literally, the basketball league is what it stands for. And it started off as a semi-professional league. I think at this point they have converted themselves to more of a pro league. That's not to say every single team has the privilege of being able to have the resources to pay players, but I do know plenty of them do have those resources. The last being one, they signed Jackson Trapp with those resources. For those of you who are unfamiliar, very traditional style shooter. You know what I mean? He is a off the screen spot up. Get to the mid range. Set plays for him to take those shots to knock him down. He is, in my personal opinion, and this is only speaking on the players that I have seen, right? So I can't speak on players that I have yet to have the privilege to see. But out of the players that I have seen, I do believe Jackson Trapp is the best shooter I have seen in this area. And if you have shooters that we need to tap into and that we need to learn about, feel free to leave it in the comment section. I would love to see what the talent is in Central Florida, or what the talent is like in Central Florida. But Jackson Trapp, in my opinion, is the best shooter I've ever seen in Central Florida, and I've been watching him in so many different leagues. I've even tried to recruit him myself, but this TBL is taking over Central Florida, so that wasn't an option.
Well,
Funny, we were talking about him not that long ago, coming back from a Royals game, and we were talking about some of the best shooters, and we were talking about how Romelo's one of the best point guards locally, and then you came up with Trapp as one of the best shooters that you've seen ever. So it's interesting to see him now getting on this TBL roster.
Yeah, he lit the Royals up last year. He was on the Lambs last year in the ABA, and he lit the Royals up. Let me tell you that. Which is funny. We just finished talking about how the Royals struggle with, full circle moment right there. Full circle moment right there. It makes sense. But another, some might recognize him as a shooter. I think in the Lambs that is going to be a bigger role for him. But the Lambs have also announced they are bringing on Roberto Suarez for his second year with the Kissimmee Lambs. Played with the ABA roster last season. Now they're transitioning to the TBL and bringing him back. I could say a million things about Roberto Suarez, but for the sake of sounding unbiased, how about somebody else tell the world about who Roberto Suarez is?
I've done it too many times already, Tyler.
He's Kobe-esque is the best way I would put it, Roberto. Very, very competitive, loves to, talk, loves to kind of go back and forth. And as he continues to do that, he kind of builds up his game. You see him hit some really tough shots. You see him pass the ball. But one thing I've seen him do a lot more lately from the GM5 and other leagues that we've got to see him in is he's kind of tapped in more defensively as well, which I think is something that we're going to see with this team because there's so many scorers, so many people to kind of handle the ball. You have to show it in some way. So I think that we're going to see a lot of, his tough shot making that we've always seen, but also his defense, which I think he's greatly improved on.
Yeah.
Yeah, Roberto Suarez, I think that is a good way of describing him, Kobe-esque for sure. And that's by no means us trying to sit here and say that Roberto Suarez is as good as Kobe Bryant, right? I know you.
It's just style.
All you hoop
Kobe
heads.
can only dream.
All you hoop heads are going to take that as disrespect to Kobe, blah, blah, blah. But that's not what we mean. It's just a play style wise. He plays a game very similar to a Kobe Bryant. He plays a game very similar to a DeMar DeRozan, to a Devin Booker. Those guys who make a living off of just worried about getting to a specific spot and taking the shot that they've practiced a million times. Not allowing anybody to speed them up, not allowing anybody to slow them down. It's like, I want to get there. So what moves do I need to get there so I can rise up and shoot it? Because that's just what he likes to do. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And there's no shot taken by Roberto Suarez if it's not a fucking fadeaway. Let me tell you that much. Um, that's something that he's grown accustomed to. But phenomenal player. I think he's going to be more of a spot up shooter for them. Um, just based on the fact of what I've seen and based on what the roster looks like, I think he's going to flourish more in that type of role. Not spot up per se, but just as a catch and shoot type of player, which I think he has the capability of. But speaking of Kobe-esque, we have a player by the last name of Bryant actually signed by the Lambs, Trent. Trent Bryant, another player that we've talked about a million times. Unfortunately, we were only able to see him in the GM5 once, but that one time it was a dominant showcasing. And also, if I'm not mistaken, the Lions' only win of the season. So, um, goes to show you the caliber of player that he is. I've been seeing Trent Bryant for a long time now, and I've always recognized him as just kind of a freight train type of player. He has, how can I say, he has a good type of tunnel vision. That's how I would describe him. He has a good type of tunnel vision because he's the type that's always going to finish, right? And it's him and the rim. That's all he ever sees. And whatever's in his way needs to just get out. And that's his mentality. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
he's going to use his strength. He's going to use his athletic ability to get to his spots, to move defenders out the way. And he's just a freight train type of player. He gets it in
Yeah.
transition. He pushes the ball. He tries to finish himself. Um, so when you really think about it and you start looking at some of these names that we're going to start mentioning as we go, they all pair with each other very well. Because you look at the players who we mentioned so far, you look at Roberto Suarez and you look at Jackson Trapp, and you look at Trent Bryant. Trent Bryant's going to try and attack the rim as often as he possibly can, right?
I want
And
to. Yeah.
play downhill. And now you pair him up with a player like Berto and Trapp, who have the capability of spreading the floor in that transition situation and allowing him the ability to just go one on one with somebody in transition, while other players have to play defense. If not, that ball's going to get kicked out. Open shot to a shooter. So far, we've only talked about three players, but I like the mindset that the Lambs have and what they're bringing onto the table. And I think it's going to show even
What
more with the next players we're going to mention.
I want to
Yeah,
add
I'm gonna
something
say
on
about that
Trent
too.
too. I feel like Trent has really good balance as well. I know a lot of people see people like that; they just think it's brute force, but it also takes balance. I don't know if you guys like know a lot about football. Running backs probably have the most balance on the field. And the reason I say that is because he is downhill. He is looking for contact, and after contact, if anybody knows anything about basketball, after contact, the hardest part of your footwork is being able to readjust to align yourself back to the basket. And I think Trent is like phenomenal at that. He's off that first bump. If he gets to that second or third one, you're cooked because that second or third one is a scoring option at that point. And I just wanted to throw that out for Trent, and it does work. Like I mean, just to even kind of expound on what you're saying. You're now running the court with two great shooters on the side. Romelo in the middle playing point guard. You got Trent going down. That's scary on a fast break. That's really scary. Just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, we're going to talk about a few more people that are more, finesse players, but there's two people that kind of stand out to me as someone that's just going to run straight through you, and he's
Yeah,
one of them. Like he's going
yeah.
to mow you down, and if he's not able to get to the rim, he's going to duck it off. But in two more names, we're going to see someone very similar to him. So I
And
like
he can
what you
shoot.
mentioned, Nas. I think that they're building. I think that they're building the roster so you can kind of plug and play the different players that you need. And if they need someone that's going to, kind of get to their spot, get to the rim, they have Trent. If they need someone that's a really spot up shooter that can kind of handle the ball, that can defend well, they got Berto, they got Trap. So this is a great building of a roster.
Yeah, it is. It's a really nice roster so far. And everybody's tall. Everybody's over 6 foot so far. There's not like
Yeah,
nobody under. I
no
mean,
short
Melo might be the
kings.
only one. Yeah, Melo might be the only one because Melo says he's 6 foot, but.
We haven't got to him yet. We don't know who's on the team yet. They don't know who's on the team yet.
My bad, my bad, my bad,
But
my bad.
moving on to the next one, not too familiar with this next player, so definitely a player that I'm going to have to pay attention to and learn a little bit more about. But Daniel Parrish, has been selected, and Coach Edgar Vasquez is not ever going to pick a player that's not worthy. So I am very excited to see what type of player he is and what he brings to the table. He's a guard. So far, we've primarily discussed guards. You could probably consider Trent a bit of a forward, but for this league for the most part. But in reality, he's a guard. You know what I mean? Um, so Parrish, another guard added to the team. I believe, didn't you do some sort of research on him that he went somewhere, Parrish, or was it another guy?
Yeah, he's a 6'3" guard out of FIU who played for the Panthers. I think that he looks really good from the quick couple of views I've seen of him, just looking around online. Looks like he can shoot it at least a little bit. Decent rebounder for his size. So I think it's gonna be really interesting seeing him a lot more. He is newer for us, so we could say that.
Yeah, that's good basketball. FIU, that's good basketball right there. So
It
Yeah.
is.
I'm hopeful. I'm definitely expecting a lot from him. And then next up, we got AJ Williams, who we've talked about a million times, especially because of our partnership with the GN5. We've discussed AJ in many different ways. Um, Another freight train style player, another transition based player. He likes to get out and run. One of the best defensive players I've seen in this area. He's very and once again, these are just comparisons of play style, not you know overall capabilities. But he's a very Giannis esque player to me. He's a power forward in most cases where you're looking at him to, be on the boards, play defense. He has the athletic ability to play above the rim at all times. He's a freight train style player, and he's very team oriented, where he's looking to get people involved. He's looking to get everybody else going as much as he possibly can, but he does it with aggression, right? He does it with drawing as much attention to himself as he possibly can to open up opportunities for others. And I think that's going to happen very well with the team that we've seen so far from the Lambs, and who knows what else they have left to sign. So,
Yeah, even the next three names are nice.
Yeah.
Like this, man. And we've seen some of the people at those tryouts.
yeah.
Like the idea
Yeah.
that some of them aren't going to make it is it's
Yeah.
the reality of basketball.
Yeah.
Next guard up for them is Romello Bates, who definitely is at least 6 feet tall. Probably wouldn't put my money on him being any taller than that, though. Um, or maybe 5'11". That could be a thing as well. 5'10" isn't an outrageous stretch either, but he's definitely in that
One of our
range
short
easily.
kings, if he's 5'11". Keep that in mind.
Definitely within that reach. But Romello Bates, I mean, we've another player we've talked about a million times. You guys can go back as many podcast episodes as you'd like, and we'd always gonna have a reason to mention Romello Bates. Phenomenal defensive point guard. Probably his strongest ability is his defense. He takes pride on the defensive end, willing to guard any player that he sees fit, willing to help against any player that he sees necessary. But on top of that, he's a very capable scorer. Isn't really going to go out there and emphasize scoring much. I'd say Romello Bates, if I had to compare him, um, I'd give him a Chris Paul type of comparison because he's a phenomenal playmaker, a very high assist guy. He's very capable of being a floor leader, being a floor general, is what I mean to say.
Yeah.
And Chris Paul in his prime, just like Romello Bates, one of the best defensive guards the league has to offer. Amazing intuition for passes and getting into those passing lanes. Amazing ability to get people open. So I give him a Chris Paul esque type of game if it was up to me to decide.
Yeah.
I like the comparison.
Definitely. Yeah, I do
I
too.
like that.
I think also with Romello, he's really good at tempo. He knows when to speed it up. He knows when to slow it down. Like he's very 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 good at that. And I think with the type of players they have, he's going to be able to control that because the IQ on these players as well. I mean, he's probably one of the smarter ones. Not that not all of them are smart, but he's very smart with the heads that they have so far. I'm also intrigued on the IQ level because that's going to be a very high IQ team. Because even man, AJ is a really good passer. He's a over. I think he's not. He can pass the ball pretty well. Like he knows how to hit an open man. So I just feel like they're gonna have a really good like functioning team when it comes to like cohesiveness. in that IQ
Listen,
so far.
I'm gonna give you
For
some
sure.
advice that's gonna help you in life. All right, whenever you're describing a player, you don't have to use comparison words. All you gotta do is say the word that defines that player. So instead of saying he's one of the smartest, just say he is a very smart player. So that way you don't have to give the impression that anybody else is dumb, because that's what it
Well, I
sounds
would
like to
say
me.
this: he's one of the smartest players in the area. He's a smarter. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
He's
You're
a
calling
high
him.
IQ player. Don't compare. Just simply
A
acknowledge what
bad.
he's good at. Don't compare him to others. Just acknowledge he's a very smart, high IQ player. Not that he is the smartest in the area. Because now you're telling everybody else in the area they're not as smart. You know what I'm saying? So remove comparisons and just strictly describe the player.
He's a high IQ player. There you go. I got you.
He is indeed. I 100% agree. But
Yeah.
listen, Nas has never been one shy to say, I think Melo is smarter than a lot of players in this area. No, I don't give a fuck. I'm just gonna say it straight
Okay.
up. All right. I'm just the
Listen, I'm
only
gonna trust the CPA.
the only reason I'm telling you
Always.
the advice is because you always over explain yourself like you don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. Nas, though, on the other hand, I don't give a fuck. Listen, at the end of the day, this is what I'm seeing, and I think anybody else would agree. If you don't, you just don't watch basketball.
Yeah,
But
I'll be honest with you. Yeah, I like it. I like
next
that, Nas.
person, Notorian Tyson, another player who's been in the area. We haven't really had much of an opportunity to discuss him much. He never tends to be anywhere that we are, to be honest.
Ever.
But funny enough, we know pretty a lot about him because it's like we've seen him, but like we've never had the opportunity to talk about him, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? But we've seen him with the Crocs. We've seen him at the Lambs tryouts. I don't know if he was at the Lambs last year. I don't think so.
No, he was drafted to St. Louis team in the basketball league last season.
Yeah, so he wasn't then. He's had time in the GM5. That's somewhere that I've been familiar with him. But won championships on GM5 teams, by the way. But Notorian Tyson, I don't know who I'd compare him to. What I will say is just overall skill set. Very athletic player. Somebody who likes to get above the rim as much as possible. Loves the mid range. Loves to shoot the ball a lot. He's definitely a volume shooter type of guy. I'm very intrigued to see the style of basketball he's going to play on the Lambs. Um, because I'd say he's different. I will say that. I got nothing else to say about that. He's different. He's not what I would expect out of the Lambs. So I'm very curious to see what he brings to the table and how they use him. Super talented, can definitely put up points in a hurry. Very capable defender, by the way. Very capable defender. Plays hard, hustles for loose balls, and I'm curious. I would love to see what he brings to the table for the Lambs.
It's really interesting because I'm used to him. Oh, this is specifically in the FBA where I only get to see him. I'm used to him playing with Enrique, where they're both kind of ball dominant players, who kind of play in isolation a lot of the times. And then on the defensive side, they are just everywhere together. They are they're so lengthy and so athletic. They get stops at ease, and they play the passing lanes very well. But I'm interested to see with so many ball handlers on this team how he'll specifically do on this team because, like you said, this is not what I'm used to seeing. So I'm interested.
Yeah, I agree. The Lambs are a very well organized team, so it's gonna be interesting to see what Tyson brings to the table. And the last player that has been announced, I'll refresh just in case no new stuff has come out. The last player that has been announced, not the last player on the roster. I'm sure as time continues or the season continues to get closer, more players will be announced because I doubt they're going to go into the TPL with 8 players. Tyshawn Patterson, which some of you may already be familiar with him. He does have a really recognizable brand within Central Florida with his what is it? What do you call it? Passion hoops was it? Or I did a training passion.
Uh,
I forgot
Training
already.
passionate. I got
Training
you.
Passion Inc. Yeah. So very very noticeable name. Has a lot of experience in the training world. That is what he has chosen to be his career path. I actually didn't know he was still playing basketball at this level. I thought he kind of just went into the training world and stuck with that. But it appears that he has been playing at this level for a while now. And he's a high IQ player, that I'll say. And typically, people who do training are, for the most part. Um, and he's a guard, obviously. But another player that I'm interested to see how he fits. I'm not super familiar with this game. Aside from knowing that he's a guard and he has a high IQ for the game, I'm very interested to see what he brings to the table, but I don't know his play style. So that's a player that we're gonna have to see and learn as the season goes on.
It's crazy seeing someone of his like stature though, because training NBA, WNBA, training like being at the draft is crazy to see someone locally do that. And now we're gonna get to watch him play consistent basketball. So I want to see if his play style kind of translates to his training, because being a skills trainer, that these are some upcoming rookies that are performing very well that he's training with.
Yeah.
So I think that we're going to see a lot of great stuff from him. I expect to see someone who's very poised in the way that they play.
Yeah, I'm excited. They play in Poinciana High School. So for those of you who have any interest in checking out the Lambs, that is where their home games are going to be this season. If I'm not mistaken, TBL plays 10 and 10 games, so 10 home games, 10 away games. Um, and the Lambs do have a schedule already, as well as on their website and Instagram. So make sure you check them out on Instagram, Kissimmee Lambs, or at Kissimmee Lambs. And then you'll be able to see their website on that page as well. So if you want to check out their games, they're within that general Central Florida area, right? Poinciana is Central Florida, isn't it? Right?
Yeah, a little past Disney.
Yeah, so they're in that area. They're not playing in Kissimmee specifically, but Poinciana, Kissimmee, damn near the same thing. Um, so I'm gonna be checking out their games for sure. Whether or not a partnership is growing out of this is for them to decide. But one way or another, I do intend to watch a lot of their games. I do want to go support my guy Roberto Suarez as much as possible. And overall, the players that they have are players that I'm very familiar with and have been at least cordial with throughout my years in Central Florida. So I'd like to support them all. And I'd love to see the TBL action. I've never had the luxury of checking out the TBL firsthand.
That would be dope.
Um, I'm very curious to see what the competition level is like. The last thing I'll say about the TBL, though, since it's already been announced multiple times, I'm free to say this out loud as well without breaking any news by mistake and getting yelled at. But the Florida Flight have actually transitioned over to the TBL, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you who are unfamiliar, the Florida Flight, owned by Mark King, who is also the owner of the Florida Basketball Association, has been recruited to participate in the TBL this season after a team was unable to meet their, how can I say, standards. I'll put it that way. So the Florida Flight were recruited. They said yes, and they will be playing their games most likely at Seminole State College. And what I did hear, and this is a little Nas bomb. Looks like Will Burr, aka Ron Burr, may not be suiting up for the Florida Flight this year, as he's battling an injury right now. So there is no way, no anticipation, not anticipation. What's the word? Timetable. There's no timetable for a return for Will Burr. So point guards, if you think you got what it takes to play at a high level, let me tell you right now, Mark King runs a system over there in the Florida Flight. He is not a free for all basketball type of guy. So if you think you got the IQ, if you think you got the skill to play at a high level in the TBL, and if you have the experience, because he's probably going to favor that, hit him up. Hit the Florida Flight up on Instagram, Facebook. Hit Mark King on Instagram and Facebook. And you might be the next, point guard for the Florida Flight. But shout out to them.
Do you think?
Hmm.
Do you think he'll be coaching? Because I've seen him a lot with the E League, which we'll talk about later. I've seen him kind of on the sidelines coaching.
I'm sure he'll be like a player coach type of situation. You know what I mean? I can fully expect him to show up to every game. I can fully expect him to be there in support of his teammates. That's just what Florida Flight culture is all about. Even Grant Gullett, for those of you who aren't familiar, he's been their star player for years. Took a little bit of a break from basketball the last year or so, and he shows up to every game. He's in the stands every single time, wearing his flight gear. With his, with the other supporters of the flight team. So yeah, I fully expect Will to be there, and if he's going to be there, he's going to contribute one way or another. You know what I mean? Like, he's going to find a way to let his presence be known. The Flight are actually bringing the gang back together. The Flight are actually planning on bringing back everybody from a staff perspective that they used to have years ago when they first started. So they're going to have the owner of the Winter Park Storm, who actually started with the Flight in his whole semi-professional career. He's going to be coming back. He's going to be the defensive coordinator for the team. And I don't know the names of the others, unfortunately, because I'm not familiar with them or haven't met them myself. But he's bringing back multiple people from past years with the Florida Flight. So he's kind of putting the gang back together, trying to make this a big deal and kind of show the TBL, what an FBA team is capable of. So that's another team that I want to support, and I will, do everything in my power to make them and the Lambs a big topic of conversation for our podcast. So that's going to be one of the things we talk about a lot, or at least I'm going to advocate that we do talk about it.
Do they play each other?
Yeah, I'm
probably
sure.
will.
I'm sure they do.
It'd probably
That's
be
the
easier
game
to
we
knock
gotta
out their
go
home and
to.
away games.
What you say?
It's going to be easier to knock out their home and away games. They're an hour away from each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure they
I
do.
hope they do play. I would love to kind of be there and vlog it and stuff. I think that would be pretty
Actually, while we talk, I'm actually going to look it up because I think the Lambs have a full schedule on their website. But yeah, shout out to the Lambs and shout out to the Flight.
I can't find that.
Maybe it's not on their website. I think they posted it. But either way, not to spend too much time on that. Either way, shout out to the Flight. Shout out to the Lambs, man. They just gave us big reasons. Not that the TBL didn't give us enough reasons in the past, but I think this is more of a motivation to really cover the TBL at a higher rate. Oh, there goes that Spanish video again. Oh gosh, how do I stop this?
You can tell we're on the Consumer Lands
Oh my gosh, it's not stopping. All right, never mind. All right, I'll do this on another day. Either way, shout out to the Lambs, shout out to the Flight, man. Let's move on to our next topic of the day. Third league, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if you've caught the trend already, ladies and gentlemen, but we are going to try our hardest to cover as many leagues as possible. So you're going to hear a lot of kind of just, how can I say, breaking news type of stuff. Not like we used to do, right? There was a period of time where we really only had the GM5 going on and then a Royals game every other week. So we had the ability to really tailor our podcast to the GM5. And, maybe it started coming off as if, we have some sort of GM5 podcast going on, but we didn't. It was just the league that was popping at the time. And now we're at a stage in the year where there's leagues everywhere. So, you want to get on the Hoop Talk podcast, you got to do something to make us talk about you. And that's what it's going to come down to at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Players, coaches, teams, leagues. You want to get on this podcast, you want the exposure, you want the opportunity to be talked about, you got to do something to stand out. That's what it's going to be.
Yeah.
So the next league we're going to talk about is the FBA E-League. We won't say much, but there's plenty of things that are worth mentioning. For those of you who are unfamiliar, I'll give a brief breakdown of the FBA E-League. It is essentially a G League format for the Florida Basketball Association. That's basically what it is. It is designed to be a developmental league, but not necessarily the same as the G League, right? So multiple things happen here. You have new teams coming in that are trying to make it into the FBA. They have to pass through the E-League first, right? They have to show that they can attend games, that they can do all the behind-the-scenes stuff correctly, that they have everything put together correctly before the FBA even considers a conversation of them joining the full actual FBA, right? So that's primarily why the E-League is there. Some FBA teams, such as the Serpents, such as the Crocs, such as the Flight, for example, will also generate a new team or a new branch of their program in order to provide additional opportunity, because there's just not enough spaces out here. There's just not enough roster spots for all the players that come through our tryouts, our combines, our trainings, and all that good stuff, right? So I had the opportunity of starting the Volusia Vipers to create more opportunities for players. The Flight have the Airmen, the Crocs have the Caimans. And it's similar to how you have, what's an example? You got the Boston Celtics and what is it? The Maine Celtics?
Maine Red Claws.
Maine Red Claws. You got the Orlando Magic and the Osceola Magic, the Los Angeles Lakers, and I think it's the South Bay Lakers, so on and so forth. That's the basic concept that some of the FBA teams have been doing. Right now we have Team Alpha Lions, who's a new team trying to make it into the FBA. And showing, Mark King that they have what it takes to be a fully orchestrated organization. So based on the things that you guys have had the opportunity to talk about or to see, what are some things you'd like to highlight from what you've learned so far from the E League?
I mean, there's a lot of familiar places that I think have a spot in this league that haven't really had the opportunity. We talked, last season about the GM5, and we also talked a little bit about Oxley. T Smooth. He's someone, or I think his name is Tyron Smith. I might have that wrong. I apologize, but T Smooth is what I know him by now at this point. He's playing for Shine On, which is Greg's squad, and he's looking pretty good on that team. I can tell you for sure. We've seen Daniel Tavares over at the Ox League, over at GM5. He's also getting an opportunity. So, like, some of these squads that are popping up that normally you wouldn't get to see in the FBA, you're getting to see some new faces, and I think they're doing pretty well. They're showing that they could fit on some teams. And I think a lot of these teams could be added. One thing I did not know, and I want to apologize to the Lions, I was seeing on the sidelines, I thought the Lions got a new coach. That's not the Lions from the Ox League, right?
No.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. That makes a lot more sense. One more shout out though, Ben Hardis on the Caimans. That man is one of the best shooters I've ever seen in my life. We got to see him play the Royals. He was lighting them up. I know that the Royals won, but Ben Hardis and Kev, that little two-man game that they had, Ben Hardis has a strap, bro. Ben Hardis can shoot from anywhere. His shit has been hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god! Oh, cut it out! Oh my god! Do we have a content manager yet? Did we find one? Please don't clip that. I'm begging you. Oh my god! Jesus Christ! All right. Well, yeah, the Caimans. Since we're on the topic, another player that I like to, I try my hardest. It doesn't work out for me mentally, but I try my hardest to portray myself as an unbiased party in these FBA conversations. But obviously, having two different teams within the FBA, it is very difficult. But listen, I removed the bias from myself, and I will give credit where credit is due. A player that I've wanted to finally talk about for a while is Matt Williams. I forget what number he wears. For those of you who may not know him by name, I think it's number 10. I don't 100% know. I will go back and look. But Matt Williams is a very talented player. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he can't be old. I want to say he's 21. I say he probably isn't older than 23. That's about the cap that I give him. Amazing player. I think he is so poised, so under control. Such a capable mid-range shooter. Finishes very strong at the basket. I like what the Caimans are doing and trying to find new talent. And one thing, and twins, if you guys are listening, one thing that I've always wanted to share with you guys and never had the luxury of sparking the conversation, but here we are now, is one thing that I've always wanted to see from the Crocs is more consistency. You know what I mean? Is more consistency in their, how can I say, the family that they're building, right? It's a lot of changing faces very often. It's a lot of players that you don't recognize from season to season, and there's plenty of reasons for that. But I think players like Ben Hardis, players like Matt Williams, are very good building blocks to start establishing that familiarity of these are guys who you're always going to see wear a Crocs uniform. You know what I mean? These are guys that you can always consider Crocs faithful. You know what I mean? And I think that's a very good place to start. I love Matt Williams' game. I would love to see him in the FBA this year in the summer. And hopefully, I imagine he will be on that team. And you've developed a very good relationship with Kevin Rulock. He's been consistently there for a long time now. He's now, becoming synonymous with the Crocs brand, and that's a very good place. That is a very good player to have for that. So, you know what I mean? When you think about the Florida Flight, it's like you're always kind of generally thinking of the same players that are coming back over and over again, especially people who pay attention to the FBA very well. If you're an FBA fan, you know Grant Gullett. You know that guy's always going to wear a Flight jersey. You know he's always going to be on that team. You know what I mean? When you look at the Serpents, you're always going to think of Roberto Suarez. You're always going to think of Nicholas McCalley. You're always going to think of James Lindsay. You know what I mean? Because you're always going to see those players. And I think that's the next step for the Crocs. And as a podcaster, not as the owner of the Serpents, not as the owner of Atleta, just as the podcaster from the Hooptalk podcast, that's my 2 cents about the Crocs organization. If they can build around this squad and kind of fit the pieces around that and have guys find a way for these guys to consistently come back, and that includes Enrique, for example, have him consistently come back, have him always be available for the Crocs organization. You create familiarity that the world can really start to gravitate towards. You know what I mean? And have that sense of a brotherhood. And I think that's what a lot of organizations in the NBA are really accustomed to. You know what I mean? When you look at teams like for example, the Nuggets, who have that core of Aaron Gordon, Jamal Murray, Nikola Jokic. You know, you look at the Thunder, you look at these teams that are creating cores of players that are just, you can create a synonymous feel to them. I think Matt Williams, Ben Hardis, and Kevin Rulock is a great way to start. Because I like those three players. Ben Hardis, electrifying. You know, we talk about his shooting ability, but that motherfucker can jump. Let me tell you that.
He dunked somebody.
Yeah, just the other day, the last set of E-League games, this dude threw it off the backboard to himself and dunked it. I'm like, golly, man. Excuse me. Yeah, he is.
It's a white boy winter still. Winter's not over.
Yeah, he's special, man. But I just wanted to shout Matt Williams out, man. Phenomenal player. Love his game, and I love to see more of him for sure.
Let me say one more thing. For any GM5 fans that watch this, especially anyone that kind of tapped into NWO specifically, this is a really good opportunity. Anything with the FBA is a really good opportunity to see Bulb Paul like really handle the ball and really have more of an offensive game. He is great. He is great as a primary ball handler. He's great as a playmaker because he's still that two-way guy, but you get to see him unleash a lot more. He's leading the Army team, I believe it is, because there's two airmen. There's the Army and the Navy. He's leading the Army team to the second best record currently. I mean, they are doing very, very well right now. So if you really want to get an opportunity to kind of look and see more of what Bulb can do, tap into this. This is a great opportunity to see that because he's great. He's great on both sides of the ball. And I think that you got to see parts of it with the GM5, but there's just so many offensive weapons on that team. You didn't really fully get to see what he could do. And you are seeing it right now.
Yeah, he's been really good for them. That team actually being coached by Will Burr. That is the team that Will has taken upon to be the leader of that squad, and they're doing really good. They started rough. They lost their first two games of the season. Then they had a triple header a couple weeks ago. They played Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and left that weekend undefeated. So, thanks to the fact that they beat the Vipers, they were able to take over that second seed. And unfortunately hand us our second loss of the season. But in that same space, I also wanted to talk about Keyshawn Robinson, which is a player I think the world should definitely take note of. He got injured last time we played, unfortunately. He should be good within a week or two, but definitely a gem. And let me tell you, I want to tell a story about him because anybody that would have just paid attention could have definitely had themselves one hell of a player. Keyshawn Robinson was one of the first players. So for those of you who don't know, just for context purposes, the way the E-League works is you sign up to be a player. You can either sign up to be a part of a specific team. Obviously, you have to communicate with that team that you're interested in doing that. Or you can sign up as a free agent, right? So, and off of that list, we have the ability to kind of navigate and figure out, what free agents catch our interest. Keyshawn Robinson was one of the first players to sign up. He signed up as a free agent, and I noticed he was in Flagler County, which is, a little bit away from Volusia County. So I was like, okay, interesting. I have a lot of players, so I'm like, okay, maybe this is not for me, but I'll just keep an eye on him, see what happens. Weeks go on, I keep asking, okay, so hey, when is the free agent pool going to be open? When are we allowed to start making calls? Blah, blah, blah. Nobody answers. Nobody tells me anything. Then Shidon joins the fold. We're being told that they're going to get all the free agents. So I was like, okay, cool. What about the free agents that haven't paid yet? How's that going to work? Blah, blah, blah. Because there's a player fee to join the league, putting that out there.
How much is it?
It's like $150 if you pay on time.
Not bad.
So I was like, okay, so what about the unpaid players? Where are they going? Are they up for grabs? Yes or no? I'm not telling anybody, why I'm asking these questions. I'm just asking. You know what I mean? I'm just here asking questions. You know what I mean? Seeing what the answers are. And then time goes on. I never get a straight answers, and nobody goes out of their way to do anything. So I was like, okay, listen, the season's about to start in a week. So I would say it's safe to say I think I'm free to now reach out to free agents, and the first thing I did was hit up Keyshawn Robinson. I was like, listen, you're not gonna be a 6'5", 6'6" hooper on the fucking close to Volusia County and just not and bypass my range of vision. No, I see you. I'm gonna call you and I'm gonna see exactly who you are because not a lot of height around this area available. You know what I mean? So you got to take advantage of it. And I just crossed my fingers because he could have been trash, obviously, right? Not like we haven't seen 6'5" hoopers that are trash. So he could have been trash just as easily. And he stopped by practice. And he's been amazing so far. And he's definitely been a hidden gem. I think he said it himself, so that's why I'm going to be willing to say it out loud myself. Is he definitely needs to get back in basketball shape. He said it himself, and I agree with him 100%. I think he needs to get back in basketball shape. I think that's going to hold him back a little bit for the next month or so until he can get himself back in a rhythm to where he's playing at the highest caliber that he can. But he is an extremely talented player, has the ability to play above the rim, has some great shooting ability, college experience, which gives him the discipline that you look for in these type of teams. Um, and I'm very happy to see him on the Vipers, and I'm gonna be very excited to see him on the Serpents in the summer as well. I just wanted to shout out him because I think that's a player to definitely pay attention to. If you can catch some E-League games on their YouTube page, FBA Hoops, if I'm not mistaken. Those are definitely some good games to catch, and those Caimans games as well to watch Ben Hardis, to watch Matt Williams, and I guess you can watch Kevin Willock too if you want. I guess.
I guess. What
I
what
guess.
number is Keyshawn? You said 10?
Keyshawn wears 12 for us in the last set of games he played. The first
He's
game,
the one to do with the beard?
yeah.
Okay, I know who you're talking about.
I don't know what number he wore the
Exactly
first
what I'm
game
talking
because we used our throwaway jerseys for that game. But yeah,
about. Yeah, he's a bucket.
yeah, he's a very talented player, man. And shout out to last thing I'll say is shout out to Eli LaFont. He's been doing very good this season in the E League and really playing very aggressive basketball. I wanted to give him a shout out. He just got the player of the game for us a few games back.
It's
And
Pluto's enemy.
yeah,
My
20.
God, we became friends. We're friends now.
Pluto's arch nemesis.
Nah, he was the first guy that ever like on my comeback. I think he was on your team, right? And he's not bad. I've seen him around before. He's not bad. He's a big body though, and he really knows. And once he learns how to use it a little bit more, I think he'll be a lot better. I think he tries to do a lot of finesse stuff when he really should be just like burrowing through people. He's like fucking 6'5", 6'4", 300 at least 300 pounds. Like he should be burrowing through people, like for sure. But he's not bad. He's not bad.
300.
He's like, bro, I'm 290, bro. He's like 300 pounds. He has to be like 300
We're
pounds. His
fat,
calves are.
bro. We've got a gut. He doesn't got the gut that we have.
He's fat. Oh, he's bigger bodied too. He's big bone too.
He's not big
He's
body
not
like
a
we're big
skinny
body,
guy.
bro. We're big body. He's burly.
Huh?
We're big body. He's burly.
He's burly for sure.
That's
But
what he
he's
is. We're FAT. Fat.
no, I'm PHAT, motherfucker. I'm fat with style. Fuck
Oh,
that.
Well, that's it for the FBA
But
E-League talk, though, and I'm definitely tune in. The Atleta TV is going to be trying their hardest to poach some of that FBA content into our page and try to see, if we can help out a little bit, Mark. Hint, hint. You're a busy man.
oh,
Make
Mark.
life easier.
The TBL is going to make your life a living hell, man. It's a lot of work to have to manage that. I'm just saying, if you could take the live streaming and broadcasting part out of the equation, you're going to have a much peaceful time in the FBA. I'm just putting that out there, all right? Just want to put
Yeah,
that
It's a
you
out
can
lot
there.
more
just
open.
focus on your players, focus on running the organization, and we can handle the media for you, 100%.
We'll even track the stats.
Oh,
We'll do
man.
everything.
We'll do everything.
Well, that's a conversation for another day. But listen, just take it into consideration, Mark. If you heard this, send me a text and I'll know you watch. All right. If you don't send me a text, then I'm disappointed. I thought you've been watching this whole time. I guess maybe I was wrong. Let's see how that goes. But then we got a couple new things happening. Not too much to talk about, but just nice little announcements to bring up, man. Atleta Sports is trying our hardest to host our first major event. We did try with a previous event that will remain unnamed. Unfortunately, that event got canceled due to a series of unfortunate events. We'll leave it at that.
And it
TN5.
wasn't Jim Carrey. It
TN5.
wasn't Jim Carrey.
But either way, what'd you say?
I said it wasn't Jim Carrey. If
Uh,
you know, you know.
I don't know. I'm sorry. I
That's
don't
sharp.
know.
You never seen that series of Unfortunate Vet Show?
Oh yeah. Okay. Sorry. My
Jim
bad. My
Jim
bad.
Carrey, no
Carrey.
Jim
My bad.
Carrey.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, that is a really good show, by the way. But either way,
It is.
Apparently
um,
not.
Atlanta Sports is gonna try a crack at their first major event. We're gonna try our hardest to make this happen. Let me see if I can actually pull up the details real quick. But we're hosting a money tournament, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you who are not aware, I have a little Instagram page, a page that was repurposed from another project that I decided to give up on. I don't know if anybody noticed that, but
Real quick. I just want to
I
throw
like the name
something
of
out
it
there.
though.
When I saw that page, I thought people were trying to make money off our name, and I was gonna screenshot it and send it to you guys and be like, "What the fuck is this?" But I thought about it. I was like, "This is definitely Nas. This is way produced, way too nice. It's definitely Nas. I'm gonna leave it alone, and eventually, I'll get reintroduced into this because obviously I
Who
missed the
else would have came
introduction."
up with the Clash for Cash? That's a nice name. That's
yeah,
a nice little
Us,
motto.
is that Tyler or is that Nas? Which one?
That was not me.
yeah. It was. It's gonna be our first annual Clash for Cash, ladies and gentlemen, and it's gonna be a money tournament hosted in May 16th, 17th is the goal. There is a very high possibility I'll move that to June just because of the amount of time I've spent without communicating with teams. I want to make it fair for everybody, so I think I'll push it back a month, most likely. But we'll see. Just follow the page, clashforcash.tourney on Instagram. So follow the page. It's a double elimination. We are going to try and go for 4 12-minute quarters. That's the goal to make the games, as extensive as they possibly can be. Double elimination with a what do you call it? A placement round, right? Where teams are going to be placed based on how they perform against each other. Obviously, the losing teams will be on the bottom half of the bracket. The winning team will be on the top. There'll be some tiebreakers. There'll be some point differential things that we take into consideration to decide who's first, second, third, etc., etc. And then every game after that, technically speaking, at that point, it was recommended to me we do just single elimination at that point. So I'll take the verbiage back. It won't be double elimination. It'll be 2 games minimum. I'll take that verbiage back. It's 2 games minimum with a placement round and then single elimination after that, right? So every game you play, you have to win to advance. 10-man roster, 16 teams maximum is what we're going to do. Even if we do get interest from more, I think we're going to keep it at 16 and make it a little easier for ourselves to organize and orchestrate because we don't want to do too much and then fail, right? So 16 teams max, I think that's a comfortable number to work with, especially since you're going to have 8 teams eliminated after 2 rounds. You get what I mean? So it'll go by pretty fast. 10-man roster max. Location is going to be TBD. There's plenty of options available, but I want to see which one is best. And obviously, in typical Atleta fashion, it will be broadcasted. What I really want to do is broadcast both games at once to where we're not necessarily focusing on one game. We're just focusing on what's happening in general and flipping the camera back and forth as much as possible. It will be complicated to do so, but we got months and months to figure it out. I think we definitely can. Worst case scenario, then we'll just have a main court that has the game that's being broadcasted, and we'll try our best to ensure that every team gets broadcasted at least once, if that's even possible. We'll see how that goes. May 16th and 17th is the goal. So Clash for Cash, the first annual Atleta Sports hosted money tournament. It is real. It is us. It is official. The details might change slightly, but if you're interested, go follow, DM, and we'll talk more about it. Plenty of teams have shown interest already. I think I have a list of 10 teams already that have shown interest. Now it's all a matter of getting everybody together and making sure we make this right. And we haven't fully advertised. So realistically, this was all people that have hit up independently. and individually. So if you're interested, feel free to hit us up if you want to be a part of this. And obviously, the most important part that I'm not even mentioning is the fact that it is a $5,000 cash prize. That's the more important part that I haven't actually said out loud. $5,000 cash prize, $500 buy-in to get on. So you talk about if you split it with teams, that's $50 a player. You know what I mean? And if you win, that's $500 a player. You know what I mean? You guys decide that amongst yourselves, however you want. That's none of my
Better than a
business.
parlay. Tell you that much.
Yeah, it's none of my business how you decide to handle that amongst your team, whether it's one person that handles it, whether you split it. I don't care. If you want to be a part of the tournament, if you want to go out there and compete, we're inviting semi-pro teams, putting that out there. So we're not just trying to do this regular. Like we're trying to make this big. We're trying to make this
Big
big.
tournament.
We're trying to make it competitive, and we're not trying to make this a bunch of random ass people that are just putting in a team just to put in a team. Teams will be vetted. I'm putting that out there. Teams will be vetted, and you have to show me that you have a team that can truly compete at a high level. I'm not interested in no scrubs, and I'm gonna say that out loud. I'm not interested in scrubs. I'm not interested in first time money tournament teams or first time teams getting put together. As like there is dozens and dozens and dozens of local recreational type teams, semi-pro type teams all over the Central Florida area, and we want the best of the best to attend. So if you think you're ready for that, hit us up. Let's get started, man. Clash for Cash, May 16th and 17th, $5,000 cash prize. DM us if you're interested. We'd love to have you, all right?
For sure.
And we got two more things. The last thing, or the second to last thing, is McCray Showcase. Would anybody like to do the honors in describing to the world what that's going to be?
Isn't
It's a
it
great
like
opportunity to see a lot
go
of
ahead,
young and up
Tyler.
and coming hoopers, you know, transitioning usually from that junior to senior or seniors to college. Great opportunity to do some catch up scouting on them, try to see what their game is like. A very big emphasis on defense for what I saw last time. Very big emphasis on fundamentals versus star power. So we're really looking to see who's more coachable, who's looking to develop their game a lot more, rather than who's going out there and getting a couple dunks, hitting
Yeah.
some crazy shots, circus shots. This is a great development and scouting opportunity for a lot of teams, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the second annual Team McCray Showcase, ladies and gentlemen, on exclusively on Atleta TV once again. So they'll be partnering with us to do that. We're gonna do some live commentary. We're gonna do some interviews. We're gonna do the whole 9 yards. Give these kids a spotlight, and like Tyler said, there's gonna be emphasis on defense this year, where the defensive player of the game will receive a gift card and a free one-on-one session by Coach Justin. The MVP of the showcase will receive a gift card as well, a highlight reel of the game, and a one-on-one session with Coach McCray. And this is going to happen April 26th at 5 p.m. at Crooms Academy. So if you are they said sophomore, junior, or senior in high school right now, and you're interested in showcasing your skills, make sure you hit up McCray Basketball Services on Instagram. Team McCray as well as another page they have that you can hit up on Instagram. Or you can comment below this video and we'll relay the message for you. So if you are an up and coming young player, hit them up. It's the second annual Team McCray Showcase exclusively on Atleta TV, ladies and gentlemen.
Love the partnership. I'm honored, and I like that the youth. We get to do something with the youth. I think that's a big thing for us because I know Nas just always wanted to kind of get into that AAU realm. So I just feel like this would be really good for the city. And also, it's going to be a lot closer than it was last year because I think last year was in Orlando. So this year, I think some Volusia County kids could really get involved because it's just a drive over the river, and it's right there. It's not like you're going all the way to Orlando. I think this will be really dope. It's really dope for the kids.
You
That
gonna
is what
bring
they're
your
trying to tailor
son-in-law?
to. Hmm?
Huh?
You bring your
My,
son-in-law? How old is he? How crazy is
he's
he?
my he's going into high school this year. Hopefully,
Okay,
I'm
never
praying.
mind. 2 more years.
Yeah.
I don't think I've
I'm joking.
ever
I'm joking.
don't think I've ever heard the term son-in-law in my life. I don't think that's a thing. I don't think that's how it
Yeah. I
works.
don't. I,
Until they're married, that's the son-in-law. That's just how it works.
All right.
that's
But yeah,
weird.
Those are the
I do
rules.
think I do think they're tailoring towards Seminole County and Volusia County. I believe he mentioned that. So if you're in that area, man, hit them up. That's going to be a fun time. Once again, second
Yeah.
annual Team McCray Showcase. Make sure you hit them up if you're interested in joining. And then last but not least, we don't have a lot of information, but we do want to share that we'll be doing 2 leagues that will be exclusively live streamed on Atleta TV as well. And that is the Orlando Basketball League and the Ox League will be returning for its second stint with us, third stint overall. Now, they've done their thing in the past before calling themselves the Ox League, but as the Ox League, this is going to be their third stint and second with us, and at least in regards to actual live streaming. The Orlando Basketball League, another league, which is primarily, if I'm not mistaken, orchestrated by Vaughn and Tommy. They're the heads of the snake that are, handling all the behind the scenes things. They are currently, what's the word? Delayed and a delayed start. So once we have more information, we'll let you guys know. But that's going to be Mondays and Tuesdays at the Orlando Sportsplex, or AKA the SEPA Gym, or SEPA. I actually don't know how to pronounce it. Southeastern Prep Academy is what it stands for. The gym that they've taken over there, the old RDV, if anybody's familiar. So be excited about that, because we're going to be there. Well, unfortunately, I won't be there at all due to some scheduling concerns. But the guys have taken it upon themselves to take over for this time around. I'll be there for the Ox League on Fridays. So very soon, basketball is going to be on and popping again. We're going to have some Royals games left over. We're going to have the McCray thing going on. We're going to have the Ox League and the OBL happening at the same time. So we're talking about 3 days of basketball on Atleta TV, ladies and gentlemen. So I know we've been on a hiatus. But we've been on a hiatus for a reason, man. We've been working. We've been trying to put together as much partnerships as we possibly can. So we came back with a bang. Atleta TV is going to be home to the Orlando Basketball League, to the Ox League. We're going to be home to the Team McCray Showcase, to the Clash for Cash tournament. We're going to be home to a lot of things. Huh?
The Royals.
The Royals. We're going to be home to the Royals. Listen, I'm manifesting it. We're going to be home to the FBA. I'm manifesting that shit, Mark. Listen up here. You heard it here first. All right? We're going to be home to the FBA.
Mark, look at his eye.
We're gonna home.
DM5 comes back in the summer. We're everywhere.
Yeah, we're gonna be home to the Lambs. Hopefully, crossing our fingers for that as well. Edgar Vasquez, you heard it here first. We're gonna be home to a lot of basketball at Atleta TV. This is the year that we're gonna take over, and we're gonna show the world what there is to offer from a local basketball perspective. So if you have not already, hit that subscribe button. And I want to make sure you guys remember, we now have memberships available. If you are a fan, if you are a supporter, if you just want to see us grow and you think you have the means to do so, and yes, in a monetary way, I will put that out there, please feel free to join our members only side, because some of these leagues are going to be exclusively for members only, ladies and gentlemen. Some of these leagues will be exclusively for members only. So join now. Don't miss what's on and popping for basketball in Central Florida or in this general area. Support us. We're going to do giveaways, which is the last thing that we're going to actually announce here in a moment. And so I can clip it up and post it on Instagram and everything. We do giveaways. We weren't able to do our Valentine's giveaway just because time has been all over the place for us. And we finally now have a more organized plan for what our schedule is going to be like for the rest of at least for the next few months. So that's been a little crazy. So if you're interested in joining us and supporting us, man, join our Atleta Club, be a member, get all the exclusive content, be a part of our giveaways. We're going to give away Wilson Evolution basketball here in a second. Next month, I forgot what the giveaway is, but we're going to announce it on our next podcast episode. We're going to have to probably skip February just because of how crazy it's been, and it was meant to be a Valentine's gift. So we'll just skip it, whatever, it happens. But we're going to be doing giveaways for all the people who are members, for everybody who chooses to support. We appreciate you guys for being here along this way, whether it's with a simple subscription, whether it's with joining our Atleta Club, whichever way you've chosen to support us, we appreciate you for it. And, don't forget to engage, like, comment, all that good stuff. We'll wrap up the We'll wrap up the podcast with the announcement of who's getting our January. Yes, we know we're halfway through February at this point.
Real quick, Nas. I want to throw
Mhm.
something out there that we forgot to notice. OBL, we are gonna have a new voice. Zay will be with us for the OBL. So I just wanted to throw that out there as well.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
forgot about that.
we're adding some. Huh, wait, what?
I said I
You
forgot about
forgot.
that.
Forgot.
Yeah, we're adding a new voice. It's going to be something that we've been wanting to do since forever. Our goal, all three of us, our goal is just to fade away, and we have faces that can take care of the content side of things. So just want to throw that out there, and also, is it official with the young lady from the Royals, the camera lady?
No.
No, all right, then I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna leave that alone. But I wanted to shout out Zay though. I wanted to shout out Zay. Welcome to the team, and we're excited. We're really excited to have you.
This is why we leave the announcements to Nas, man. Now we got people wondering about things that we don't even know are gonna happen. But either way, uh,
My bad.
let's wrap up the podcast with the announcement of who's going to be our winner for our first giveaway, ladies and gentlemen. Our January giveaway for 2026 was actually a all subscribers eligible, just because it was the first one. So you did not have to be a member in order to win this one this time around. And we've decided to give out a Wilson Evolution basketball to Alan Nelson, ladies and gentlemen, who we appreciate for his support. A hooper in the area. I've seen him personally everywhere, local scene, whether it be rec basketball, some semi-pro basketball. I've seen him on the on the Winter Park Storm, Clermont Caimans, all that good stuff. So shout out to him for supporting and always showing love. He's always been watching. He's always been on our social media reacting to things. And thanks for the support that he showed us. We decided to select him as the winner of our first Atleta Club giveaway. And we will be gifting him a Wilson Evolution basketball. We're going to go ahead and pay for that or buy that here shortly. Maybe sometime this week I'll go ahead and buy it online. And my goal will be to hand it to him personally, do a little clip, show the world that we are giving back to the people who have chosen to give to us, right? And all he's done is like, all he's done is subscribe, all he's done is comment. You know what I'm saying? So we're not asking for much. Just be a part of what we're trying to build, be a part of our growth, and we are trying our best to give back as much as possible. And the more we grow, the more we have the ability to give back. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, within our means, we're just doing one giveaway a month. That's just what we have available to our means. The more we grow, the more we turn this into something special. I'm all about community and I'm all about growth. I'm all about unity. And I'm going to put that back towards the people who are helping us get to the place we are, right? So, make sure you join our Atleta Club and support. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. We appreciate y'all for tapping in with us, man. Hoop Talk is back, and we're not going to leave for a long time. Basketball's on and popping, man. And that's all we got for today. Thank you so much for tuning in.
One more thing.
Oh, no, it's not.
Oh,
Next month, let's talk about our giveaway. Let's talk about our March giveaway. What are we giving away?
I didn't know what it was. I didn't want to spend time looking it up.
We're giving away 2 tickets to Aquatica. I just got a Busch Gardens annual pass. I can go with you. Let me know. You could spend a day with one of the Atleta hosts. Just hit me up. 2 tickets to Aquatica for March.
a full a full day with an Atleta host.
Hey, listen,
You also get a free throw-in.
Let's make that clippable, man. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be our March giveaway. If you join the Atleta Club, you have the opportunity to win 2 tickets to Aquatica, ladies and gentlemen. 2, not 1, 2. And that is fully funded by us. We're not sending you the money. We are purchasing it for you. We are getting you the opportunity to take, whether it be a child, a partner, a family member, a friend, whoever you desire to bring with you. Join our Atleta Club today. We have 3 tiers, 3 possibilities for you to win. And you can get 2 tickets to Aquatica here in March, just like Alan Nelson just won our free Wilson Evolution basketball. So we appreciate y'all for being a part of this journey. Hoop Talk out. Deuces.